Welcome to Chris Ryan Fitness, everybody. Who is ready to crush some strength, butt, and legs with me here today? 45 minutes just for you all today. We're going to be on after it, everybody, today. Some light dumbbells and a mini band, a lighter mini band as well. Have them pitched off to the side for the time being before you light up those glutes, those quads, those calves, and those hammies. Right now, light up that smile and let's get your hips nice and loose. Quick dynamic warm-up. We go. Right leg goes right on out. Kick, then step the foot right back towards me. Left leg goes right on after it. Keep those toes flexed up so you get that hip open as much as you can, activating through that hip flexor all the way on through. Oh, yeah, Adi is ready today. Love it, Adi. Come on back and forth. Now you're going to go right out and in. Open up the inner thigh first. Close that leg straight forward. Back and forth you go. So if you would like some shout-outs here today, everybody, on the live stream, go ahead and populate your name. You can say anything you want in there, as long as it's clean, right? Keep it family-friendly. Here we go, everybody. You can curse me out, though, and quiet as needed. Because this workout is tough, but you are way, way tougher. For 2 and 1. Let's go right on after it. Little bottom-up squat time. Set up those feet just outside those hips. You're going to come on over, bend over, touch those toes, and bend those knees as needed. So you're going to come on down in a deep squat position. Oh, yeah. Pry open those hips. Elbows on the insides of those knees as much as you can, and then fire the hips up to the sky. Bring your face on in towards those knees as much as you can. Roll those shoulders forward towards the top side of your toes. Feel that lumbar spine in those hips. Open on up. That felt rather good, right, Nama? There we go. Nama's in the house as well. Take it down and in all the way through. One more for 2 and 1. Let's go ahead and release those toes now. Big, deep lunge position. Start out with that left leg forward, right leg back and down. So beginner level butt and legs here today, right? That's right. We're going beginner style. You're going to press through that front left foot as much as you can, bending that back right knee down and in ever so slightly. So most of this workout is programmed correctly for a beginner class. Some of the moves will be given some little modifiers as needed. You go ahead and do the best you possible here today, everybody. Remember, just showing up, turning on the Chris Ryan Fitness app, getting your sweat going, down and in we go. Oh, yeah, Jesse in the house. Liddy Lou is ready to crush it here today. Love it, Kathy. Lance in the house as well. Oh, my goodness. All-star class right here. So we're going to come down on the ground now. You're going to set up your hands on the ground just outside your hips. Your head's resting on the ground. You're going to toss those knees over to that right side ever so slightly. Open on up through the hips. Once again, toss them over that left side. Keeping your hips and shoulders, or your shoulders square on the ground, eyes up towards the ceiling the whole way through. One more each side. There you go, down. One more. And all the way up and over for 2 and 1. Let's target our little ankles right here. Grab the top side of those shins, lean on back, lift the feet up off the ground, little ankle rotation in and out. We go back and forth, inward rotation, now outward rotation, back and forth we go, cracky, cracky, and then go ahead and do a little flex and extension right there. Toes flexed on in, shins nice and strong for 2 and 1. All right, everybody, let's build some muscle. Tired to work out, not talk. Okay, first one we're going to start out with right here. Body weight only on this first section, okay? It's a beginner level class. If you choose to do weights, you go ahead and do your weights, but I'm going to go right here at the beginner level. You're going to go ahead and squat. You're going to squat down and in, pressing those knees out up over the top side of those toes. Hands come up out in front as you go deep in that squat, and then squeeze your butt nice and tight on that backside. So linear line, ear, shoulder, and hip all the way through on that backside. Keeping that chest up nice and proud, pressing hard through those heels. Making sure that those knees track out over those toes, okay? Squat is a huge movement, and we're going to make it perfect for you today. That's right, down and in. It's also a movement a lot of people get wrong, right? Sometimes they roll their shoulders forward. They let those knees concave in like so. They have a weak core posture position. We want to think strong, proud chest. Linear line, ear, shoulder, and hip, pushing your butt back and down, and then pushing hard through those heels. And don't forget, squeezing those glutes up at the top side, right? So when you squeeze those glutes up at the top side, you're engaging all the way through. Don't finish with a hip crease back like this, right? Squeeze all the way through at the top side position, engaging the glutes in that last 10% range of motion. Pulse squat. Hands up out in front now. So you're going to settle up those feet directly underneath those hips, toes pointing directly forward. You're going to just go on into a nice little pulse up and down. Hands right out in front. There you go. This one, you're pressing through those heels, but you're going to feel it right here in those quadriceps a little bit more, right? So you're just dropping those hips back and down, arms right out in front of you the whole way through, linear line in that spine. From the side profile position, I want to make sure you're dropping your hips back and down. Notice my hips are going low, right? So if my hand is touching my head here at the beginning, and my hand goes up, and my hand stays in the same position, my head goes down and right back up to my hand. What I don't want to do is just flex like this through those knees, right? This is not what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Initiate the movement with the hips. Back and forth. How many of y'all just said, oh, light bulb just went off, right? Here we go. Down and in the whole way through. Come on, light up those quads for 3, for 2, and 1. Great job right there. Good morning time, everybody. Set up those feet directly underneath those hips, toes pointed forward, hands on those hips. Now here's your kicker. You're going to fire through that posterior chain, backside hamstrings and glutes. You're going to push back as far as you can. Keep that linear line in that spine, and then squeeze that butt nice and tight up at the top side. I'm going to pivot around a few degrees, show you different angles so you can check out that form. So the kicker of this one, pressing through your heels, bending your knees. Notice my shin is nice and vertical right here, but the hips are going back as far as possible. My eyes are going down towards the ground, and I feel a stretch right here in those hamstrings. Then I'm going to squeeze my butt tight and stand up. Ear stacked over the shoulder, over the hip, knee, and ankle with the tightest glutes around, right? There you go. Think tight butt the whole time as you come up. Stretching on out, looking down towards the ground and squeezing that butt tight. What we are not doing is we're not looking out in front of us like this, right? As we push the hips back, puts a ton of stress in the neck and the cervical spine as well as that lumbar. We don't like to put stress in the spine. Everybody for 2, 1, reverse lunge time we go. Settle on through, Corrine. Oh, yeah. Taking it on home. Right leg back, Corrine. Back and forth. Stepping hard through that front left foot as much as you can. So the right leg is going back and down the whole way through. The back shin is going to go nearly parallel to the ground. If you want to settle up that range of motion just to about a quarter of the way, just step back ever so slightly, but press as hard as you can through what part of your foot? What part of your foot? The heel. That's right. Pressing through your heel as much as you can. Because if I end up putting too much stress in the toe when I'm doing a lunge, guess what happens? A lot of pain in those knees. We don't like putting pain in the knee, everybody. We want to put the pain right where it counts in those glutes, right? There you go. Back and down. Load the muscles, not the joints, my friends. There we go. Back and forth the whole way through. Pressing all the pressure through that front left foot heel as much as possible. Not pushing off of that back toe. For 2 and 1. Let's go on after it. Kara in the house. You're late. You're tardy, Kara, but you're still here. So y'all good in my book right there. Down and in. Don't you worry. Back and forth. You go. Pressing hard as you can through that right foot, making sure a little toe tap backward, and then pressing through that front right heel as much as you can. Notice that you're doing your first so-called unilateral movement where you're only on one leg at a time, right? So when you're on one leg at a time, you're coming down and in, you're pressing hard through. Guess why we do unilateral movements? Because we walk, we jump, we run on one foot at a time, right? You can't walk on 2 feet like this, right? You got to walk forward with 1 foot at a time. So remember, 1 foot to win it, back and forth you go, lunging through, getting those hip flexors nice and loose, down, powering through that right heel, hard as you can. Oh my goodness, last 10 seconds. Come on, Kara, make up for being tardy right there, right now for 3, for 2, last rep, best rep, and 1. Rest it on up, everybody. All righty, so that was the beginner portion of our workout. It was all body weight, right? But I'm sure Nam and Korean grabbed their dumbbells. But anyways, if we're getting on after it here today, we're coming on into our second section, everybody. Section number 2 of a whole host of exercises coming right here today. Nothing will repeat, but that ton of sweaty fun. Go ahead, grab our mini band right here. You're going to settle up into it. So you're going to step into 1 foot at a time. You're going to take the mini band up and over the top side of your knee, just like so. And you're going to have those feet just outside those hips. Interlace those fingers together like so, palms facing down towards the ground. And you go knee shift with just that right leg. So just the right knee's going in and out, back and forth, pushing as hard as you can through the heel, isolating right here through the hip and the glute as much as you can. Chin parallel to the ground, eyes are straight forward, linear line, ear, shoulder, and hip, right? Quarter squat style position. But what I'm not doing is I'm not pressing back and forth with that right leg and letting the left leg cave in, right? We're not weak knee. You're pressing hard through that left foot in the stationary position, and then you're isolating through just that right leg, right? Isolate through weak knee, strong knee, weak knee, strong knee. There you go, making Nama laugh here today. Oh, yeah. Come on, Nama. Light it up. Back and forth. Toes pointed directly forward, quarter squat style position the whole way home. Down and in we go before we switch it up to that left side in 2 and 1. Don't stand up. I didn't say stand up. Stay in that quarter. Burn it, baby. Come on, right there. Now that left leg's going in and out. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Feeling good. Feeling sweaty. Come on, a little humid here today in the Northeast. Back and forth, everybody, right there, right now. Excellent, excellent work. Remember, applying pressure through those heels the whole time. Stationary here on that right side, and back and forth you go with that left side. Palms facing down towards the ground, so you isolate through the core. We're not resting those hands on those hips in a weak core position, looking towards the ground. No, you're looking straight forward. You're checking out right on home. Come on, 25 more seconds, everybody. Excellent, excellent job. Power on through that left side as much as you can. Weak knee, strong knee the whole time. Burning. Oh, my goodness. Hips strong, booty's on fire already. Section number 2 of 6 coming our way here today. Inside of 3. Oh, yeah. Burn it. 2. Last rep, best rep. 1. Oh, my. Lateral walk. Stay in that quarter squat style position. Toes point directly forward. Big step with that left foot. Small step with that right. So you're always keeping tension in that band. You're always keeping that band stretched out as much as you can. You're not letting that trail leg on that right foot come in to touch that left side. Do you keep that tension in that band the whole way through? Somewhere in about 5 to 10 feet in distance, but make sure the toes are pointed forward and the feet are well outside the hips. The knees are in alignment with the toes. We're not letting those knees concave on in and lead with the foot like this, right, in any sort of pigeon-toed style format. You want to think strong, powerful knees, healthy knees right there. Back and forth the whole way. Keep the hips loaded back and down, everybody. Step, big, slow step, small step in on that trail leg. Back and forth. And oh, my IT bands right here for all you runners right there, getting them lit on up in the best way possible. Come on. This is all you here today. Come on, back and forth. Left side. Down and in. Right side. Excellent, excellent job. Squat. Band's not coming off, though. Now we're going right into the squat. Similar to what we did earlier in those body weight movements, you're coming down and in, pressing those knees up over the top side of those toes and driving those knees out wide the whole way through. Down and up we go. Now, difficulty increase a little bit here with our band friend, right? So you're squeezing your butt as tight as you can. The band is going to try to pull your knees on in. Remember, we know what strong, powerful, virtuous form is because we did it in that first section. So we're thinking about pushing those knees out wide, right? Tracking up over the top side of those toes. We're not going to let the band win the race, come in weak knee like this, and pop our MCLs or our ACLs in any way. No, we're going to drive on in. We're going to load those glutes, get that butt a little tighter, those quads looking good. Little teardrop there on the front side of the thighs, everybody. Let's go. Come on, down and in. Pushing hard through those heels the whole way through. Squeezing those glutes to activate that booty on that backside position. Remember, the glutes don't really activate until this final position here in that last 10% range of motion. Excellent, excellent job. Backward, forward walk, we go. So, quarter squat style position. Interlace those fingers together. Palms down towards the ground. Keep that core locked on in. Forward walk, backward walk. Quarter squat, though. Toes pointed directly forward. Don't start turning those toes out and disengaging the muscles. Think about keeping the toes directly forward, keeping that chest upright, nice and proud. Linear line, ear, shoulder, and hip the whole way through, and the feet well outside those hips. And we are going up tempo here, right? We're going to get on after that walk. Keeping those ribs pulled on in towards those hips, chin parallel to the ground. We're not going to start getting weak because we're getting tired looking towards the ground like this. If you find yourself looking down towards your toes, stop. Reset. Stand tall, quarter squat. Chin, chest up. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Back and forth the whole way through. Feel that sweat coming out of those pores here today, everybody. Oh, yeah. For 3, for 2, and 1. Sumo squat position. Now the sumo stance position is a nice wide stance with the toes turned out about 30 degrees, give or take. Pushing down through those heels, same squat pattern you did earlier, but this time it's going to target through those hips a little bit more in the inner thigh. That's right. Down and in we go. Still keeping those toes turned out and still keeping those knees tracking up over those toes. On the sumo stance position, we do not let the knees concave on in any way and hurt right here on the inside of our knee, right? We want to think push, push, push. As you do that, you're going to start feeling those hips engage, those glutes engage, and also through the inner thigh and the quadriceps here on the front side of the thigh a little bit more than compared to the traditional squat. Down and in we go, pushing hard, and then driving through those heels and squeezing your glutes as tight as you can. Think about opening up your hips, pushing your pelvis forward at the top of that position, right? So back here better be tight, right? There you go. Down and right back on up for 2. Oh, let's chip in that rest interval, everybody. And 1. Awesome, awesome work. Go ahead, settle that man off to the side. Step out of it, but don't you worry. This one gift that keeps on giving, it'll make its guest appearance here shortly. So, towel on off as needed. Wipe that sweat off because you're going to need that grip strength coming your way here now. Guess why? We have some dumbbells. Oh, yeah, we have some dumbbells for you now. We have some dumbbells for you, Corinne, Lance. Here we go, Kathy. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, DBs, get them into your hands, everybody. Give them a nice little squeeze. Let them know who the boss is here today. Let's go. Deadlift time. Palms facing on in towards your quads. Once again, working with some light dumbbells. Set up those shoulder blades back and down so the chest is up nice and proud. It's pushing through those heels, bending those knees. Similar to that good morning that you did earlier. Trace the knuckles right along the top side of your thighs, just to about the knees, and then squeeze that butt nice and tight. Keeping that linear line through that spine the whole way through. Looking towards the ground, standing up tall, and squeezing that butt nice and tight. If it feels like it's too much to do these movements with the dumbbells, by all means, once again, you do you. You go ahead and get on after it, stretching out those hamstrings, tighten up that booty with just your body weight, everybody. A little modification never hurts. Same movement pattern, just act like you're holding the dumbbells in your hands, keeping those shoulders engaged the whole way through. What we want to avoid, rounding that back in a weak core position, right? We don't want to go like this. We want to think, pushing through to stretch out those hamstrings on the back side of the thighs like a long, strong, elastic band. If you feel like you can go a little deeper into the movement, go ahead, go down to that mid-shin. Watch that sweat drip off that nose for 2 and 1. Shifting lateral lunge to that right side now. Back to that sumo stance position. Feet nice and wide, knuckles down towards the ground. Shift the weight down and into that right side where the left foot stays nice and straight through that leg. On that left side, both soles of the feet constantly in contact with the ground. So soles of the feet constantly in contact. You're not going to roll that ankle down and in any way. Pushing down through that right side as much as you can so that left side remains nice and straight. From the side profile view, you can see the hip is going down low. The knee tracks up over the toe as much as possible. The knuckles are pointed straight down towards the ground. Arms are like levers right here, just holding the dumbbells. But I'm not just holding the dumbbells. I'm actually trying to push down and in, squeezing through those triceps the whole way through and those lats. That way I keep the spine in that nice strong position and driving down and back versus here in a loose grip format without the tricep flex and those gains in those arms and the butt and leg workout, right? There you go, everybody. A little extra credit for us here today. Come on, Kara. Switch it up. Left side, we go. So DBs right below those hips. Once again, down and in. Right leg remains nice and straight the whole way through. Back and forth. Toes keep turning on out. And that 30-degree pattern, powering as hard as you can in that left side position. Keep the shoulders square with your hips. So I'm not turning my shoulders down and in, looking down towards the toe. And I'm definitely not pushing through the toe as much as the heel on that left side, right? You want to think no pressure in the knee, all that pressure in that hip, and that thigh, that glute. Oh, yeah. Trail leg remains nice and straight to open on up that big, deep stretch. Down, right back on up we go. Nama's on fire here today, Nama. Come on, light it on up. Back and forth the whole way through. Getting it done, Lance. Come on, power hard through that left foot as much as you can, Lance. Light it up. 3 for 2. Last rep, best rep, Kathy. And 1. Split stance RDL. Similar to deadlift, but now you're going to go split stance. Feel free to use the assistance of a wall if you want or a sturdy sofa where you're going to go ahead and plant that back foot just like so in a vertical position. Left foot's forward, right leg's backing down, palms face on in. Similar to what you did earlier, but now you're just going to come down and in mid-shin position and then pull through up at the top side. The goal, pushing those hips back as far as you can. Notice I'm pushing hard through my front left foot with that vertical shin position. The back right toe is going to serve as a kickstand position would be on a bike. You're going to just have that back toe on the ground with the heel up over the toe. So you're applying force generation and pressure through that left foot, specifically through the heel. But I'm not bending those knees in any way, right? The knees are bent in that same static position. I'm holding that position and moving the hips back and then pulling the hips through up at the top side. Stacking the spine on top of those hips. For 2 and 1. I'm going to show you how it would look for assistance with a wall. This time you're going to have that left foot back, right foot forward. So if you had a wall for assistance like this, you could do the exact same movement in a slightly modified format. You're not trying to push off of that back left foot, but it helps to feel a little bit more sturdy with that front foot pushing hard through the ground until you get that range of motion down pat. And then you can go on into that freestanding range of motion Right foot's forward, left leg's backing down, moving those hips back, enjoying that hamstring stretch, and then pulling through up at the top side. Doesn't that movement feel good? In the best way. Oh, I love some split stance RDLs. A lot of us get tension built up in our hamstrings. Here we go. My wife included. Showed Denise these moves one day, and she's like, oh my goodness, that feels good right there. There goes all my tension, all my stress. Down, powering hard through that right foot, everybody. Excellent, excellent work. Oh, broccoli is in the house here today. Love me some broccoli. Made it for the kids the other day. They ate it all. I got that beta carotene going. Calf raise time, everybody. Here we go. Settle up those DBs just outside those hips. Feet about hip width apart. Go ahead and squeeze those calves in nice and strong. Lift the heels up as high as you can. Go ahead and breathe that air up there at the top side position. A little cleaner up there, right? There you go. Down and in we go. Driving hard through the ball of your foot the whole way through. Lifting those heels up ever so slightly. If you want to turn it up a little bit, I'm going to a little sumo stance style position where those toes are turned out. And you're going to feel the meat of those calves light up a little bit more right there, right? There we go. Down and in. It's short season time, everybody. Got to get those calves looking good. Those ankles nice and strong and long. Down and in we go. Flexing. Oh, yeah. The whole time. Back and forth. The whole way through. Getting those calves strong as possible, but keeping that torso upright the whole time. Down strong. Up strong. Don't let those heels rest on the ground for too long. For 2 and 1. Rest it on up. Don't mind if I do. Those DBs getting a little sweaty. Gonna have to towel them on off so they don't slip on my hands right there. Okay, so everyone, feeling good or what? Everyone's nice and sweaty here. Here we go. Absolutely awesome, awesome work, everybody. So we're going on after the mini band again here in this section. So you might as well get that mini band ready. So mini band, or you can do once again the movements without the mini band if you wish. Go ahead and do whatever you can do here today. So you're going to come on into a lateral walk with a squat position. So back to that lateral walk, but you're going to add in a squat from that same position that you started out in, right? So quarter squat position, lateral walk over to that left side, several steps, plant those feet, squat down, press hard through those heels up to the quarter squat only, not to the full, and then walk it back on over to that right side. Keeping those hips loaded the whole way through. Similar to what we did in that second section, but now you're in it with those squats on the ends. Back and forth the whole time. A little extra spicy, just advancing that beginner level for us each and every time you turn on that Chris and I Fitness app, everybody. Down and up we go. Oh, yeah. Looking good. Feeling great. Down, up. 1 over to that right side we go. 3, for 2, and 1. Great job. All right, Nama's calling me out for being soft with those 30-second rest intervals. Love it, Nama. Come on. Backward, forward walk with a squat. Here we go. You know, sometimes in life, you just got to turn over a new leaf, right, Nama? Here we go. Back and forth we go. But don't you worry. You know, those 15-minute workouts I've been doing lately, not much rest, if at all, at those 15-minute burners. So sometimes you get a little, sometimes you give a little. Either way, you come out a winner. Back and forth you go. Ah, amazing. Down and right back on up the whole way through. Come on. Down strong, up strong to that quarter squat. We go. Lining up those glutes. Down and back the whole time. Hands interlaced together out in front of your sternum. Down and in. Applying force generation and pressure through those heels. Come on. Forward walk. Hit that squat, baby. Down. Hit that backward walk. And then finish with that squat. Down and up. Pulse squat. Oh, my quads. Back on into that pulse formation. Hands up out in front. Quarter squat position. In those heels, Kara. Here you go. Down and in. Remember that analogy earlier. Start out with your hand right there on top of your head. Your head should drop below the hand, right? And then back up to the top side position. Down and in the whole way through. So the hips are going low. You're not just going back and forth like this. This is not the pulse that we're looking for, everybody. That's just a nice fun dance right there. Back and forth the whole way through. Also down, right back on up. This is exactly why I gave us 30 seconds rest in between these sections here today. Come on. Down strong, up strong. Quads on fire. Keep those knees tracking up over those toes. Feet out nice and wide. Toes pointed directly forward the whole way through. And that quad burn right here, right now. Excellent, excellent job. Come on. Make that smile big for 3, for 2. Last rep. Take it home. 1. Side step. Oh my goodness. Shake it on out. All right. Quarter squat position again. Side step with that right foot. So that left foot stays planted. Right foot steps back and forth. There you go. Nice and strong the whole way through. Static hold on the left side. Side step with just that right. Back and forth the whole time. Eyes are forward. There you go. Come on. Keep it intense. Down and in. Don't let that left leg concave on in any way. Remember, keep the shoulders square with those hips. Step out right side. Load through that left foot. For 3, for 2, and 1. Go ahead, shake it on out. Now same thing with that left leg stepping out. Right leg's loaded over here, specifically through the heel the whole time. Left side steps out. Oh, yeah. Come on. Here we go, Broccoli. Come on, Corinne. Awesome job, Lance. Come on, Adi. Back and forth. Quicker. Faster. Oh, yeah. Don't let me get all those gains. Come on, everybody. This is your butt and legs time. Get it. 2 and 1. Hip thrust. Take it downtown on the ground now. Finally, let's go rest on the ground, right? Nope, not for long. So you're going to be on the ground. Your head's going to rest on the ground. Nice little sweat staying on the ground for us here today. Palms on the ground. Squeeze your butt nice and tight. Power hard through those heels. Turn those toes, woesies up a little bit towards the ceiling, everybody, right there. Fire through that backside position, targeting the glutes and the glutes as much as possible only. Think less hamstring, less lumbar spine, and targeting, squeezing those big, strong muscles on the backside. Popping that booty as much as you can. Go up strong into that squeeze. Hold for a good 2-second count up at the top side, and then come down slow and controlled. Soon as your butt and tailbone touches the ground, you immediately pop right back on up, squeezing those glutes as hard as you can. Less than 10 seconds to go right here, everybody. Oh, yeah. Come on. Line on up. Strong. All the way through for 3, for 2, and 1. Great job right there. Clamshell time. Don't mind if I do. Let's come over on your right side. Left leg's on top. Set up those knees just about a foot or so between those knees so there's a little tension in that band. Set up the instep of the foot together, and then you're just going to rotate up that left side position ever so slightly, right? Driving it on through, back and forth the whole time. Down and in, but don't let those knees concave on in. Right, Nama? Got to keep it tough for you as always. Love it, Nama. Come on. Left side up, slow, controlled down. Eyes just generally forward, somewhere between about 5 feet out in front of you so you can keep that spine right on intact the whole way through, but you're isolating through the hip on that left side as much as possible. So you're opening, closing, controlled. Don't open strong and think, oh, that's done, and then go like this, right? No, you're going to keep tension in that band the whole way through. Down and in. Oh, yeah. Come on. Right there, right now. 3, for 2. My left hip, good Lord. And 1. Switch it up. Left side position. Right leg's on top. Foot, once again, about a foot in distance between the knees. Open up that right side, slow, controlled, all the way through. Oh, yeah. Amazing. So love movements like this, especially not just for our hips and make our butts look nice and tight, right? But guess why? Because it helps to make our spine a little stronger. A lot of problems with our lumbar spines for many of us out there, myself included. Yes, that happens to me in the best way. Usually it involves the kids. But for most of us, we want to think strong spines, right? If the spine is strong, but the butt and the hips are weak, guess what? That's a big, lousy foundation to build something off of. Think about a nice, tall building, skyscraper here that we have in New York City. You want to think a tall skyscraper has to be built down nice and deep for a big trench for that basement, right? You got to dig down deep, build that foundation. That's your hips. Spine, the tall building, right there. 3, come on. 2, last one, best one. Oh, yeah, 1. Rest it on up. Bye-bye, mini-man. Okay, so we're coming on into it. Next section, section 5, I believe. We got about 4 sections down. We got 2 more big ones coming our way here today. There's sweat everywhere, everybody. All I know is those quads, those glutes, those hammies, they're strong, and they're about ready to get a little stronger, right? They're sweaty, and oh my God, clamshell killer as always. I agree, Corinne. Yeah, they're tough, but guess what? Our booties prove way tougher. They're a little stronger right there. By the way, we're going back down on the ground. I'm talking way over here. We're going fire hydrants. You don't need a band right here unless you want one. I'm not going to take one, so you don't have to either. You're going to take it on through. I designed this one to go out into that fire hydrant position to that right side. So shoulders remain square. You're just going to keep that femur nice and long and extended position in alignment with your hip on that right side. You're only working through that right leg right now. The knees come on in, touch, and then rotate up high and wide. The goal, try to go for the longest, strongest range of motion rather than just going back and forth a million miles an hour doing circles in any way. I want you to think, hands down on the ground, south of the shoulders, pushing hard through those palms, looking straight down towards the ground between those thumbs. And you're raising up on the outer edge of just that right hip, opening up the inner thigh, nearly parallel to the ground if at all possible. So you're opening up, closing it on in, getting that hip open as much as you can for 2 and 1. Switch it up to that left side position. Once again, hands straight down below center, and you're rotating up that left side. Femurs pushing down towards the ground, opening up that hip as much as you can. And by the way, some of you might be like, why are these called fire hydrants? I don't know. You tell me. Back and forth you go, everybody. Come on. Eyes are down towards the ground. Back and forth the whole way through. Excellent, excellent work, everybody. Down, right back on up. We go. Opening up that hip. Either way, whatever they are called, they work absolute wonders for those hips in the best way possible. Less than 20 seconds ago, everybody. Come on. Kick it up high. Right on through. Eyes still stay square towards the ground. Shoulders are square, but rotating that left hip up as high as possible. Excellent, excellent job. For 4. Come on. 3. Last couple. 2. Hit it on home. 1. Amazing job. Straight leg scissor kicks. Okay. This one's fun. You're going to settle up through. Quads engaged, knees straight, toes flex back toward your face. Now here's what you're going to do. Only that right leg is going to be moving up. So it's going to be straight leg position with a dorsiflexed leg into the knee. So the toes flex back toward your face the whole way through. The foot is dorsiflexed, meaning the toe is flexed backward. You're working here, keeping that knee nice and straight, engaging through the quad in the hip flexor right here as much as you can. Try to stack your ear over the shoulder, over the hip, hands just outside, ever so slightly, raising that right foot up off the ground just enough to feel the burn in that quadricep ever so slightly. There you go. If you need to, go ahead and rest for a second, relax the quadricep, squeeze that leg nice and straight, working through the quad, but trying to make sure chin parallel to the ground, eyes generally straight forward, and stacking the spine, ear, shoulder, and hip. So you feel the burn right here and right here. Oh, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Oh, my. We got to do that left leg, too, that means. Okay. So we got to get it after that left leg as well. So toes flex back ever so slightly. Left leg's getting on after it. Making sure the knee is straight. So a lot of times I don't say keep your knee straight, but because the foot is not in contact with the ground right here, applying force, generation, and pressure through the knee, you're trying to squeeze through that quadricep, engaging the quad and that hip flexor. Little small muscles right over here, everybody getting nice and worked right here as much as you can. Get rather tight on us and weak on us the more we sit. So guess why we're doing these? Because we all sit a lot, myself included. Here we go. We got to get on after it. Everyone needs to get these done. Back and forth. Little small movements. Sometimes they're the toughest movements, right? It's like, come on, leg, lift up. Back and forth the whole way through. Squeeze. Toes flex back ever so slightly. There we go. Making that baby burn. Oh, yeah. Quadriceps engaged. Eyes are forward. Sweaty smiles on those faces here today. 2. Last rep, best rep. 1. Make it stop. Alternating single leg hip thrust. Alternating means you're going to go left side 1 rep, right side the other rep. So here's what you're going to do. Keep that left foot on the ground. Right leg is just down on the ground. Relax. Now press as hard as you can through just that left foot. I don't even care if you barely lift your butt up off the ground. If you can, arch all the way through. Hold for a second and then bring your butt back to the ground. And then straighten out that left leg and switch your Ruski to that right side. Boom. Love it. Back and forth. Alternating those legs. Starting out with the straight leg heel on the ground and then pushing as hard as you can through that plant foot heel. Once again, don't worry if you need to modify and not even lift your hips up off the ground. I just want you to think pushing through the ground as hard as you can. If you happen to lift your hips off the ground, great. That's awesome. Keep that tension building through that core in the torso and the hips the whole way through. But if you feel like you can't lift, but you're still pushing through the ground, guess what? You are still getting those glutes activated nice and strong. For 2, 1. Oh, amazing. Donkey time, everybody. Right side, left side, we go. This time you're only going to do that right side. So similar to that position we were in earlier when we were doing those fire hydrants, you're going to do the same thing. Pull the knee in towards your belly button ever so slightly, and then press the sole of the foot, the heel up to the ceiling. You're not pressing it straight back with a straight knee. Keep that knee bent so the sole of the foot, the bottom of the foot goes straight to the ceiling, and then pull on in ever so slightly towards your belly button, and then press right back on up. Slow and controlled right here, right? I don't want you to think just going back and forth a million miles an hour. I want you to think coming down and in, eyes down towards the ground, muscle that leg on up. Oh, yeah. You want to build that booty muscle? These are good ones for you, everybody. They're great. Down and in the whole way through. I'm making sure it's the sole of the foot, keeping the toe relatively dorsiflexed in so the toe is flexed inward towards your shin and knee, helping to activate all the way through that hip as much as you can for 2, 1. Let's quickly switch. So that left leg's getting that action now, everybody. The right knee's on the ground, pulling that left knee in towards your belly button, and then driving the sole of that left foot straight on up towards the ceiling. Eyes remain down towards the ground the whole way. Pressing that left foot up strong, and then pulling back in underneath that belly button. Down and in we go. Excellent, excellent job, everybody. Power through these last few donkeys right here. 30 more seconds to go. Notice that the knee is coming inward towards the belly button region. Your eyes are still down towards the ground, and you're pressing the sole of the foot straight up towards the ceiling for the longest, strongest range of motion possible right there. Down and in we go. Final 10 seconds or so. Come on. Few more reps. Back and forth. All the way on home for 2. Come on. Hit that last one, baby. And 1. Letting up that backside. Rest it on up. Another one of those beautiful long 30-second rest intervals that Namal is growing to love. And now we're going to go on after the last section right there. That's right. All right, everybody. Wipe that sweat out of your eyes. Holy humidity here in New York City, everybody. Here we go. All right. In the New York area. Not in the city anymore. All right, get it on after it. So we're going on into dumbbell action. Might need to mop up this floor. One of those the basketball dry mops that they have in the NBA. Okay, everybody, let's do it. Suitcase squat time. So set up those DBs into your hands. Act like you have 2 heavy suitcases in your hands. Toes pointing directly forward. Shoulder blades retracted back and down. You're going to go into it. Act like you're having those suitcase handles in your hands. You're going to stand up with a linear line in your spine. Ear, shoulder, and hip the whole way through. Dumbbells go to the outer edge of your knees, just below those knees. Neutral spine the whole time, and then squeeze through that backside. Don't finish here with the hips back. Squeeze your butt as tight as you can to push your belly button forward. Pull your hips forward up at the top side. So you're squeezing through those triceps, shoulder blades retracted back and down the whole way through, and you're pushing as hard as you can through your heels. Notice the more force you push through those heels up at the top, all of a sudden your butt gets a little tighter, right? Pretty cool how all the body's interconnected like that. Down and in the whole time. Come on, light it up right there. Right now. 3, 4, 2. Last rep, best rep. Boom. Front squat, calf raise time. We go. DBs go up to the front side position. Elbows are punching forward. Eyes are forward. You're going to go ahead and set up those feet just outside those hips. Toes turned out about 10, 20 degrees as needed. You're going to have the load of the weight on the front side position. That's why it's called a front squat. Squeeze that butt tight, and you know what to do with that calf raise, right? Raise those heels up off the ground. Down we go. Elbows come on in. Eyes are forward the whole way through. Now with the load of the weight on the front side position, it's going to naturally try to pull us down and in, right? Guess what's going to make up for it? Your strong abs, right? Your strong backside, nice and taut. Down and in, pressing through those heels as hard as you can. Squeezing that butt tight as possible as you hit that calf raise, my friends. Come on. Light it up. Pushing through those heels. Squeeze that booty nice and tight. Oh, now backside we go. All the way on home. Squeeze. Flex those calves. Looking great, everybody. Come on, Kara. 3, 4, 2, Lance. And 1, Kathy. Great work, everybody. Sumo, good morning time we go. DBs go south of the border now. Toes turn on out ever so slightly. Feet out nice and wide. Knees relatively soft, okay? So you're going to push those hips back as far as you can. Look towards the ground as you push back. Now pull the hips through up at the top side. Oh, that's feeling good, right? So neutral spine the whole way through. Look towards the ground as you push back, and then pull through. Look dead set straight forward, right? Down and in we go. Straight arm position the whole way through. Eyes go down towards the ground. Notice the hips pushing backward, and then I'm going to pull the hips through up at the top side. What I am not doing is pushing back, looking good, and then trying to throw those shoulders up first, right? We're not trying to throw our back out of whack right here, everybody. Come on. Down and in. We want to think pulling the hips through. Back to that analogy Big, tall skyscrapers having that nice, strong foundation base of support. Otherwise, they topple over. Same rules apply for our body. Down, pull through. Down, one more. Feeling great. And pull right on through. Those split squats can wait. Starting out right leg forward, everybody. Left leg back and down. So similar to that RDL, that split stance RDL we did earlier, but this time it's a little wider position away from one another. Bending that back left knee down towards the ground ever so slightly. Bending that back left knee. Front right leg is just pushing it with that knee up over the top side of the toe. Once again, the knees are not locked. I'm bending that back left knee towards the ground ever so slightly. But 99.9% of the force generation is through that front right heel. Right? Down and in, slow and controlled the whole way through. Keeping that chest upright, shoulder blades pulled back and down ever so slightly. Just light it on up, being your best self. Your strongest self here today. Oh, yeah. Come on. Pressing hard through that right foot. For 3, for 2, and 1. Lighting on up. Left leg forward. Right leg back and down. Korean, here we go. Powering through that left side position. Bending that back right knee down and in towards the ground. The whole way home. Driving through that left foot. Bending that back right knee down strong, everybody. Here we go. This is what it's all about. That burn. 45 minutes. Butt and legs just for you. Getting the foundation of your body as strong as possible. Working through that range of motion the whole time. Bending that back right knee down and in. Applying force generation and pressure where it counts. Come on. Light it up. Come on. Right there. Last 20 seconds. To be our strongest selves. Our best selves. Our most relentless selves. Right leg. Pressing through. Bending that back right knee down and in. Pressing through that left foot. For 3. Excellent job. For 2. Last rep. Best rep. And 1. Oh my goodness. Pulse goblet squat. 1 off to the side. And the other one, nice little vertical style position. You're going to hold it like a goblet. Quarter squat position. Pulse it up and down. Here we go. A lot of pulses here today. But make sure you are in your heels. You're going to wiggle those toes a little bit. Make sure you are in those heels. Once again, from the side profile view, you can see the hips going back and down. We're going to dial up a little bit right here. Driving hard through those heels. Pushing your hips back and down as far as you can, right? Once again, we're not going like this. We're dropping our hips back and down as much as you can. Make that smile big. Make it beautiful. I already know it's sweaty, everybody. This is your time to shine. Final 15 seconds to go. Come on. Hang out right there. A little purgatory of fire, my friends. Come on. This is exactly why you're here. 10 more seconds, Lance. Light it up, Addy. Oh, amazing. Amazing job, everybody here today. 3, for 2, and 1. Oh, my goodness. Hit that cool down now. Dumbbells off to the side. Stand tall. Stand proud. Wipe the sweat out of your eyes. Flex them if you caught them. Absolutely amazing, amazing work, everybody. You came, you saw, you threw down, you conquered your best self, your strongest self, your most quad burning, booty popping, hamstring long and strong, relentless self here today. Love it. Okay, let's get right on after a quick little stretch and get you underway. Left leg crosses up over that right. Knees are soft. Cup those elbows up, end over end. Take a big inhale through your nose. Nice little exhale through your mouth. Roll those shoulders forward over the top side of those toes. Knees are soft, so they're relatively straight, but they're not locked. Just enough to get that hammy stretched on out. Those hips stretched on out. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly rise up. Go ahead, switch it up. Right over left we go. Knees bent. Knees soft. Weights through those heels. Rolling those shoulders forward over the top side of those toes. Feeling those hammies stretch right on out. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do a quad stretch. You can find assistance of a wall if you need for balance coordination control. We're going to get right on after it. Left leg down through the ground. Right knee back as ever so slightly. Grab that right foot and lean forward ever so slightly. But press the knee away from the hip. You're not trying to pull out wide. Press it right back behind your hip and lean forward ever so slightly. So you get a stretch right here through that quadricep. For 3, for 2. Y'all rock. Oh, Thetis is in the house today. Love Thetis. And then you're going to go on into it. Left leg up and in. Broccoli getting it done. Kara showing up tardy, but showing up with her A game as well. Love it, Kara, right there. Excellent, excellent work. Lance, you're crushing it as always, my friend. Back and forth you go. All right, everybody. I have an amazing, fiery, advanced level 30-minute cardio boot camp. I hope to see you out here in about 15 minutes time. You thought this was sweaty? Wait till you do that one. All right. See you next time on Chris Ryan Fitness, everybody. Great job.